So typically, I very rarely ever read anything, but in this case, I wrote this the other day and I do want to read it. If you don't know, I have had hair loss since I was 21, so that's 25 years of hair loss. I've worn wigs since 2012. I have female pattern baldness and got an inflammatory alopecia in 2022 and shaved my head last year, hence this is a wig. People say you're beautiful without hair, or it's just hair. Who you are isn't tied to your hair. You are still you without it. The people that love you for you will love you with or without your hair. And these are actually all truths. But I think the part that's missed here is not about someone else being fine that we are balding or that we are thinning. That's nice and all. But the part that is missed is that the person who is losing themselves often changes as a person. They can no longer feel like themselves. They can no longer see themselves. Their lives are reduced and often plagued in struggle and suffering because they cannot feel right in this new version of themselves that is often forced upon them, which extends beyond a mirror. You can rip all of the mirrors out of my house, but I know what hair feels like. And that has an effect on how I feel. Literally how it feels, to the point that how a wig feels on my head and to the density of how a wig feels on my head will affect how I feel. So it has nothing, and it's not entirely based on a visual representation. It's also the feeling within us. So yeah, the world can love somebody bald and say you're all the things you were before and that hair doesn't matter, but that's one tiny portion of this equation. The bigger part is the person dealing with this often cannot stay afloat to feel as good as they did before, which means often their mental health suffers and their relationships suffer. So hair matters to those it matters to, and no one can say what anyone should or shouldn't feel in this regard. Well, at least you look good bald. Well, you're lucky to have that jawline. You don't even need to wear a wig. Well, that's nice. It's never changed how I had to navigate this process myself, which was unique to me because all of our journeys in this are unique to us. There are similarities and strength and community, but this journey is our own, and you get to feel all of the feels. But it's always worth striving to move forward, to take that next step in this for you and not anybody else, whatever that step may be. And that's the truth. It doesn't matter what other people will tell you. It doesn't matter what they think, however you should be. What matters is how you feel and how you want to feel and getting to that place. For me, that means wearing wigs. For me, that means I need to shave my head. I don't feel my best in a shaved head. Does that mean I cannot go out that way? No, it doesn't mean that. I go out in a shaved head all the time. Does that mean that I love it? No. It's functional. It's survival. It's what I need to do to live my life. And I don't want to be a hostage to hair loss. I was a hostage to hair loss for over a decade of my life. So I do the things that I need to do, and I make the hard decisions and the choices to make that happen. But I think it's so often missed when somebody tells somebody else what they don't need to do something. You know, this is a total tangent here, but oftentimes people get plastic surgery. And like, I never forget, I think it was Jennifer Grey, the girl from Dirty Dancing, and she got a nose job. And people thought at this portion of time, the time I'm thinking about, like, oh, she didn't need to do that, or she changed her look to an extreme that she no longer was herself. She wanted to get a nose job because to make herself feel better. Nobody else's opinion matters in this regard. The only one's opinion that matters in this regard is her opinion. That is what matters when it comes to hair loss. It's not what other people think. It's what you think about you. So make the decisions that you need to make for yourself, irrespective of anybody else.